Hello everybody, welcome to the channel, Out of Ammo, Out of Time. I'm your host as always, Krabby Terror 8, and here we are for episode 7 of the Investigator Games Eldritch Horror Edition with everybody's favourite actor and gravedigger, William Yorick. Yes, and here we are again in the Investigator Games to see how William Yorick does true solo against Azathoth. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, what is the Investigator Games? Well, it's a little bit like the Hunger Games, I guess. We take each investigator in Eldritch Horror and we put them through true solo up against Azathoth and see how they go. And based on their performance, and it is pretty tough, performances have been challenging so far, they end up in a league table like this one. So yes, we can see Lily Chen at the moment doing pretty well. She managed to solve 2 mysteries before time ran out. Last week, Lola managed 1. She really got waylaid, ended up in the Bermuda Triangle and all sorts of things. It was quite amusing. And I'm quite amused that that these poor hapless investigators are trying to do Eldritch Horror with solo. And whilst it means the likelihood of success is relatively low, it's really more about their relative performance as much as anything. And I have fun playing them solo. I do play the game in real life with multiple players because, you know, that's the way you really should play it. But for the Investigator Games, it's fine to watch these poor investigators suffer as they try to defeat Azathoth. I'm sure one of them will get 3 mysteries. I certainly hope so. And we will see how they go. Now, if you are new to Eldritch Horror, this isn't an introduction on how to play. I'm assuming you know how to play. So if you are new, I would recommend that you go ahead and seek out other introductory material, play the game yourself before watching what I'm going to do. And I'm by no means an expert, judging from the most excellent feedback that I get from people. So even I'm learning as we go along. So yes, here we are with William Yorick, and I've played William quite a lot in Arkham Horror, the card game. He plays a little bit differently in that. He's for those of you who would know Arkham Horror, the card game, he's a survivor and he has abilities which are recursive, which allow him to bring back cards from his discard pile. Now, of course, that doesn't make sense here in Eldritch Horror. So he's much more of a monster fighter, which is great. We haven't had many of them. Lily was good at attacking the monsters. Some of the others have been less than stellar at that side of things. So hopefully William will be able to do that. So before we start, let's just go around the houses in terms of the setup. I've already set up the mythos deck. Is it the mythos deck or the whatever it is, the deck here, ready to roll. So that's ready to go. So let's just move around here. Let's just roll. Let's just I'll just flip those. Actually, I think they should. No, they shouldn't be flipped. Let's just shuffle all these up. Shuffle up the deck conditions. I think the deck conditions are different. Let's shuffle up the assets and let's draw from the asset deck and see what we get. So we get skeleton key. I'll just put them out first and then we'll see what we get. Skeleton keys, mystic scroll, camera. Doesn't sound particularly interesting, but you never know. Okay, and scribe's journal, which I've seen before, is pretty good. So skeleton keys, well, they're only a 1, so they're easy to get. They're just a trinket, but once per round, you may add 1 to the result of 1 die when resolving a test during an otherworld encounter. Yeah, that's just a small little effect, but quite specific. A mystic scroll is also 1 and quite low, these ones. You may re-roll 1 die when resolving a lore test. Okay. And what's this? A camera. Once per round, when you spend a clue, you may gain a clue. Wow. Okay. That's good. And scribe's journal. Effects cannot cause you to discard your clues or spells unless you choose to. Very interesting group of things. I was sort of hoping for maybe something a bit more fighty. But as we can see, William Yorick's ability to discard things is quite quite easy, so we can probably do something about that. We'll just shuffle up the artifacts, shuffle up Asia, shuffle up Europe, shuffle up America, shuffle up the general, and then we'll do this 4 times to see where the first expedition is. 1, 2, 3, 4. First expedition is in Tunguska. So we'll move that to Tunguska. Shuffle up the other world encounters and then just shuffle up all these conditions. There's a bazillion of them. Here, there we go, all shuffled up. We're on 15 doom, as we should be. We're not using these cards. Yep, that's where it should be. So let's come over here to Azathoth. So we'll shuffle up the research encounters. And the mysteries. This is the most important bit. Let's see. I might move the mysteries somewhere a bit more accessible because they're quite important. So let's put them here. Okay, let's see what the first mystery is. And the first mystery is the good old voice. Voice of Azathoth. Oh boy, here we go. This one has caused so many problems because getting an artifact, Voice of Azathoth. Most musicians describe this 18th century Italian opera as unplayable. Bit like Eldritch Horror True Solo. It comes as no surprise that the composer was executed for heresy. Wow, imagine that happening to Lady Gaga. When an investigator would gain an artifact, he may gain the Massa di Requiem per Shagay artifact instead. Okay. At the end of the mythos phase, an investigator may spend clues equal to 1 to discard the Massa di Requiem de Shagay artifact to solve this mystery. So basically, we've got to get ourselves an artifact, which can be easier said than done. My understanding is that the easiest way to get an artifact is actually to do the expedition. So we will endeavor to go and do that. So that could prove to be a challenge right off the bat. Right there. Okay. So there we go. That's that. Let's do these now. So we've got to draw a gate. Let's shuffle up the gate, and the gate that we get is Buenos Aires. So we'll move that over to Buenos Aires with a monster. And the monster we get is a cultist. So we'll put that in Buenos Aires, and it's blue. We will also get a that's nice. We'll get a clue, and the clue is at number 3. So that's actually quite near Buenos Aires. Where is it? There it is. It seems a long way away, but it actually isn't that far away. So we can get to that clue relatively quickly. So there we go. That's actually not too bad. So yes. So there we go. That's all set up. So we've got the expedition, we've got the first gate and the cultist, and we have a clue. So if we move into William himself, we're on turn 1 here, and we will have a look at William. So William Yorick is a grave digger. Although anyone who knows William that's his kind of his part-time job. He's actually an actor. But okay, so he has an action which is he can discard up to 2 cards from the reserve and then perform an additional action. So, I mean, the way it's written is kind of a bit roundabout, but basically you can discard 2 cards from the reserve, so you can basically get through the cards quite fast in that way. So that's good. When you defeat a monster with toughness 2 or greater during a combat encounter, you may gain a 1 non-service asset of your choice. So defeating a monster is actually a good thing because you can gain assets, not artifacts though. So that's good. This, though this be madness, yet there is method in it. So here we go. He's got a physiological index of 7, so he's pretty tough, and psychological index of 5, so he's not too bad. We've had some other investigators like Silas with pretty low on the old psychological index, so he's pretty robust. And his stat line isn't too bad. He's got 3 law, which is good, 2 influence, which is a bit on the low side, and 2 observations. So those are his sort of worst stats, and then his strength and will are pretty good, particularly. So I think, finding ways to boost our influence and observation could be handy. So if we flip him over and have a look on the other side, we'll ignore the right-hand side. It just doesn't apply in this. But he starts in Sydney, Australia. He starts with the alchemical concoction, and he starts with the bury them deep, unique asset, and a focus. William Yorick always dreamed of becoming an actor, but alas, poor Yorick, it was not meant to be. As a grave digger, Yorick saw corpses every day. So when inhuman, monstrous corpses started turning up in Arkham, he took the bodies to Miskatonic University for study. Unfortunately for Yorick, this drew some unwanted attention, and fearing for his life, he took to a grave-digging job in Sydney. Oh, I wonder if he's somewhere near where I am. Far from Arkham and far from trouble. At least until the corpses started clawing their way from the ground. Oof. Okay, so there we go. So he isn't an actor anymore. He's moved far away to get away from the corpses. Well, you would, wouldn't you? So we have a look here at the alchemical concoction. It's a sort of a one-off. You can discard this card to get +5 during a combat encounter, which of course plays with his when you defeat a monster with 2 or greater. And so does this, bury them deep. When a non-epic monster is defeated or discarded, you may spend a focus to place that monster on this card, and then you may flip this card. Now, if the monster is, I'm giving it away, but, it's okay. If the monster on this card has a higher toughness, 3 to 4 or 5+, we can retreat the doom or even advance the active mystery, which in this case would be the other way of doing the first mysteries. Rather than trying to find the artifact, is to defeat a 5+ monster, which of course there are none at the moment. So there we go. These two, this works. So he's really, I suppose what they're doing is here is they're sort of encouraging you to defeat monsters. That's what William Yorick does. He's a monster basher, and he gets benefits from doing that. So I think we'll certainly think about that as we're doing things. So there we go. That's William Yorick, and I think that's everything. I think we're ready to kick off here in the Investigator Games with William Yorick. We've just got to work out what we're going to do. So, yeah. Okay, so what are we going to do? We've got 2 actions to start with, and we are here in Sydney. Well, I think even though this cultist is definitely not going to give us any kind of benefit at the moment, I think Tunguska is just a bazillion miles away. I mean, to get to Tunguska, we would need to sort of get to Tokyo. Then it would take us a long time to get there. So whilst we could try and get there to get an asset, at the moment, what seems like the most expeditious thing to do, I suppose, is to get this clue, then go on to Buenos Aires and close this gate, that particularly blue gates, because we don't want too many blue gates, or the Doom track moves way too fast. So I feel like that's probably the best thing to do. So as a first action, I'm not going to take a ship ticket because we're just going to move to 3 through here. So we will move to 3, which is a C space. That was our first action. And then for our second action, I'm going to use this, which is to discard up to 2 cards from the reserve and then perform an additional action. So I'm looking here about what we might discard. So, they're all fairly low. I'm just trying to think. I'm not sure I would use this one. How many can we? Up to 2 cards. Oh, up to 2 cards. Well, I might take out the Scribe's Journal. And I might take out the... that can be handy, though, if we're going to be closing gates. When you spend a clue, you can gain a clue. That's kind of handy, too. So I might take out those 2 and draw 2 more. See if we can get something a bit more fighty. So they are... okay, so what did we get? We got the private car. When you gain this card, immediately recover all health and sanity. And then discard this car. Okay, well that could be certainly very, very handy. And the bullwhip, +1 during combat encounters. You may reroll 1 die when resolving a strength test during a... okay. And that's a 1 as well. They're all very low, aren't they? Which is kind of okay because we only have an influence of 2. So we discarded up to 2 cards from the reserve. Now we can perform an additional action. And what I want to do is I want to get something here. So we are a influence of 2. So we will take 2 over here. And we'll roll them up. And we get 1. So we do get 1. So either we could make it a 3 with a deck condition, or we could just take one of these and then just leave it at that. We should take a deck condition. It's quite hard for us to pass a deck condition, isn't it? And really, at the moment, the only thing we kind of need is the... no, actually, I'm going to maximize what we do here. So we get 2 successes. So we're going to take a deck condition, which gives us a 3. I'm going to take the bullwhip, 1. I'm going to take the skeleton. Oh, should we take the skeleton key or the camera? Skeleton key, otherworld encounter. That feels like a safer thing to do, even though the camera would be handy. I know it means we're not spending the full 3. That feels like a better thing to do, is it? No, we don't want that. When you spend a clue, you may gain a clue. That's probably really handy as well. I'm going to put back the skeleton key. I'm going to take the camera. I'm going to maximize what we get. Okay, so let's bring these back. So, ooh, a Tommy gun. Okay, so we got now a Tommy gun. Whoa, that would be great to get that. And a Witch Doctor. Investigators on your space may recover 1 additional health or discard a curse condition when performing a rest action. Wow. Okay. Well, we don't have a curse condition, so there we go. Okay, so that's the end of our actions. So we moved to space 3. We discarded a couple of items from the reserve that we can do, and then with our additional action, we got ourselves a camera and a bullwhip. So we're set up here with lots and lots of stuff. Okay, so we'll move into the encounter phase. So we are going to do a research encounter. Let's see how we go here. And we are in we're in a C space. C. You discover a shrine on a deserted island that empowers the demon sultan. Destroying the altar will require more than brute force. Okay, so we've got to do a lore action. If you fail, you cannot remove the magic. Advance the doom by 1 for each Eldritch token on the omen track. Okay. All right. So we are 3 lore, so that's not too bad. So we're just going to pass this lore test. Let's see how we go. Okay. So we will roll those up. Come on. Yes, we got 1 pass. Whew. Fantastic. Okay. So we passed. You discover a shrine. Okay, well that's a little bit unfortunate because I don't gain a clue. All I did was not fail it, so that was pretty awful. So there you go. That was really very unfortunate. That I didn't do anything. So I passed it, but I didn't get the clue. So that was a little bit of a waste of time. This game is hard enough without, like, that feels a little bit unfair. And I understand that. So it makes you go through all of that, and there was no benefit at all. I didn't read any benefit from that. It just says you discover a shrine. Destroying the altar will require more than brute force if you fail, not if you pass something. So that was very, very unfortunate. That's very annoying. All right, so we move into the mythos phase. So let's see what the first mythos card has for us. And the mythos card will, first of all, move the doom track around. So the doom track moves down by 1. There is a spawn of a monster. What do we get here? A crazed mob. Okay, let's have a look here. Oh, good. So this is definitely something with toughness greater than 3. So we can we'll flip that. So there is now a cultist and a crazed mob in Buenos Aires. There is a lot going down there. So, but this is good for William. We like to bash lots of things. And then a clue appears somewhere. Let's have a look. Let's roll up the clues. Where do we get a clue? And the clue is on 20, which is down. 20 is there, sort of Indonesia. There we go. Clue over here. It's a million miles away from us, so that's good. So there's the clue. Let's see what this says. According to the police report, several individuals entered the warehouse in the middle of the night. They performed some sort of ritual which culminated in their death. What you know that the police don't is that afterwards something inhuman left that warehouse. Events: spawn one monster on each space that contains a cultist monster. Well, that's right here. So that's another one. Wow. So what do we get now? A ravenous gug. A ravenous gug. How bad is the gug? Wow. That is super strong. Woo. Oh, boy. Okay. Lots of stuff. So that's a ravenous gug as well. Suddenly Buenos Aires has got very interesting. Well, this was kind of perfect for William Yorick, I guess. Okay. There we go. So there we go. That's the first mythos. So there we go. That's the end of the first round. So a little bit disappointing because it would have been really nice to get that clue, but it wasn't to be. So we are now here in 3, and I really do want to take on this gate, but I feel like we probably need the Tommy gun to do that effectively. So let's see what we can do here. So I really do want to take this on, but I think I need something a little bit more. I need a bit more to do that, and also I'm going to do it. I probably need to get rid of this debt condition before I pick up the Tommy gun, so I can get another debt condition. So and I wouldn't mind getting this clue. So I think we might stay here just for another go, and then we can move into. Because if we can get rid of this gug, then bury them deep is going to be really nice. So so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to test to get rid of this debt condition. So we have an influence of 2. So let's see how we go. We'll roll that up. No, we don't. we don't manage to get rid of the deck condition. We could use our focus token to re-roll one of the dice, but I don't really want to use up my focus token right now. But what else? Yeah, maybe we should use it. Okay, we'll use the focus token to re-roll one of the die. We'll re-roll the 4. We roll it up, and we get a 1. So no, that didn't work. Okay. So that's the first thing we will do. I think the next thing we will do is take a ship ticket, because I think we're going to need it. Not right now, but maybe later. So we will take a ship ticket. I'm not going to move onto that. I need more things before I start fighting all these monsters, because a 5, a ravenous gug with a -2. No, we at least need that. So I don't want to be taking things on unless we. So there we go. There's our 2 actions. And let's try and get this clue again. So we'll move into our the encounter phase. So we will do another research encounter. See how we go this time. A pale, blubbery-looking sailor tells you of a dream he's been having about a green stone at the bottom of the ocean. Gain this clue. Great. Got it. You try to use his description to determine the actual location observation, which is 2. Yes, we pass. Fantastic. Okay. If you pass, move the omen token to any space on the track without advancing doom. Okay. Oh, okay. I don't know, because we don't really have much on the track, so there's only that, and that's twice, so wherever we move it, we could move it here, I suppose, which means it's got 2, yeah, let's just move it there. So, well, that's going to be 2, that's going to be 2, that's actually, let's just leave it where it is. Okay, well, that was much more successful, and we actually got the clue that time, which is great. That's good. So the main thing I want to do is get rid of this debt condition and really try and get the Tommy gun, and fight. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So anyway, let's move into the mythos phase. So the mythos phase, and indeed the doom track moves around. There are no gates that are red. That's great. Then there's the lightning bolt action. Crazed mob. What do they do? Roll 1 die. On 1 or 2, advance the doom. No. Okay, so that was that one. Is there any other? Yeah, the gug. What does the ravenous gug do? Move this monster 1 space towards the nearest city space. Well, that would be this way. There we go. So the ravenous gug is gone. It's off. I'm running. That's right, isn't it? Move this monster 1 space towards the nearest. That's a bit of a. It's a bit disappointing, because I was hoping to get the ravenous gug, because the crazed mob is its strength is still a strength of 3, which would be retreat the doom by 1. Okay, but actually we do want the gug, so we can get rid. If we can catch up with the gug and kill it, then we can get rid of this mystery. So that would be a good thing to do. And then a gate. So we'll spawn a gate. And the gate is in Arkham. Arkham. And what's the monster? A ghoul. A ghoul in Arkham. Okay, there we go. So that's the end of that bit, and then let's read the next bit, which, before your very eyes, the stars shift in the night sky, constellations break apart and reform, shattering your previous predictions of omens. Move the omen counterclockwise by 1. Oh, great. Okay, yes. Then advance the doom by 1 for each gate on the board that corresponds to the current omen, so that's another 1. Bugger. Okay. Well, there's been worse ones, that's for sure. Okay, so that's the end of the mythos phase. So we move into our third turn. So here we are again. Now, I do want to move to Buenos Aires. I really want to do this. No, I nearly forgot the deck condition. Bloody hell. Forgot the most important thing. You regret having made such... Let me put this back to 2. Sorry. I thought I'd finished. You regret having made such a deal with these nefarious creatures. The need seemed worth it, worth a pound of flesh at the time, but now hungry eyes watch you with unyielding intensity. Lose 3 health unless you discard an ally asset. Well, I don't have an ally asset, so I'll lose 3 health. Okay. All right. Not too bad. I mean, there's worse ones. Okay. So there we go. So that's the end of that round. So there we go. We are now in a position to indeed do a couple of things here. So I'm going to move to Buenos Aires and get going on that. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to... Do we want to discard anything here? Not the Tommy gun. Not the skull. In fact, I don't mind any of these, so I don't want to discard them. But what we are going to do is we're going to see how we go with... It's 2. We might need a deck condition again. Let's roll it up. See how we go. Oh my goodness, we get 2. Wow. We get 2, which means we can take another deck condition and we can get ourselves 4. So we can get ourselves the Tommy gun. Nice. And we can get ourselves the skeleton keys, which is good for other world encounters. Wow, so that's really, really good. So I know we've got a deck condition now, but okay, so let's have a look at what new assets we get. Lodge Hunter. Gain +1 +... Wow, passive skill. Wow, that's really good. And we get an enchanted cane. Okay, well, I think we've already got something. So there we go. So there we go. That was pretty good for our first. We've still got a... Now, we could... No, we can't. We can't test again. So I think the next thing to do is to move to Buenos Aires. We're going to do some clobbering of some mobs here. Okay. So that's our... Whoops. Sorry, William. All right. So we are here in Buenos Aires. Let's see if we can actually close this gate. And then what we can do is prepare for the Ravenous Gug. And we can actually use that to solve the mystery because the artifacts seem to be quite difficult to come by. So it's encounter phase time. So so who should we start with? So let's start with the crazed mob. Now I'm just thinking here. If you spend a clue, you may gain a clue. So the nice thing is that if we spend a clue because we need to re-roll, we can gain a clue. So we can only do it once a round, but you know, that's fine. Okay, so let's have a look at this crazed mob. Oh, it's an influence roll. Oh, okay. If you pass the influence test, defeat this monster. Roll. Okay. So all right. Well, Well, we won't, but anyway. Okay. Okay, so so the first thing we need to do is we need to do an influence test -1, so that's a 1. Let's see how we go. Let's roll it up. We get a 3, so we don't get it, so we lose. And if we don't pass, we can't continue. So let's spend the clue and re-roll. Yes, we did. Oh my goodness, we did it. And because we spent a clue, let's just show that we've done that. We can gain a clue. There we go. So we pass that, but we take a mental attack for that. But if you pass this test, okay. So we passed the test because we got 1 success. So we defeat this monster. Wow. So well, we could use that, but I don't want to do that. So I think that's great. Okay, so we defeat that monster. And what does it say here? When you defeat a monster with toughness 2 or greater, you may gain 1 non-service asset of your choice from the reserve. So that's fantastic. So we can't get that one. We could get that one. We could get that one. We could get that one. Is that right? When you defeat a monster with toughness 2 or greater during a combat encounter, you may gain 1 non-service asset of your choice from the reserve. Well, I'm going to get the Lodge Hunter because that gives me +1 fight and +1 will. And that's fantastic. Okay, so let's get the +1 fight. And let's get the +1 will. Brilliant. Wow. That is really, really good. Running out of space here. And it gives me something else. You may re-roll 1 die during a strength or a will test. Fantastic. Wow. Okay. So that was definitely worth spending that clue. Okay, so that's that one. Now we've got the cultist to deal with. And the cultist is use cultist. Okay, so what do we do here? Oh, so I see. So after resolving the will test. Okay. So we're a 4. We're a 4, basically. So we 1, 2, 3, 4. See how we go. So we'll roll that up. Oh. We got none. But I think you may re-roll 1 die when resolving a will test. So we can re-roll 1 of the dice. Okay. Is there any other? No. No. This would be really unfortunate if we didn't get this. After resolving... Okay. 4. No, so we don't succeed, but it says after resolving this test, lose a health. So we lose a sanity, and we lose a health, and then I think we just defeat this monster, but we didn't pass it. But it just says after resolving the test, so I don't think there is. So lose 1 health and defeat the monster. So we lost 1 health and 1 sanity. We're a bit low now on the health and sanity, but we have defeated all the monsters, so we can now move in to the encounter with Buenos Aires, Otherworld encounter. So let's go ahead and do the Otherworld encounter. Let's flip that. Otherworld, Great Hall of Ciliano. You encounter an elderly version of yourself. Oh, okay. Who claims to have spent years studying in the library. Yeah, right. Your other self shows you several obscure books and tries to teach you a lifetime of occult knowledge. Law -1, so that's 2 dice. Now we do have this thing here that once per round you may add 1 to the result of a die when resolving a test. Okay, so let's see if we need it. So let's roll this up. Hopefully we won't need it, and we don't need it. We get a double 6. Wow. You grasp the important lessons. Close this gate. Yay! You'll close the gate. However, your older self indicates that there are still a great deal for you to learn. Yeah. If you are willing to stay and continue your studies, you may become delayed and gain 2 clues. I don't think we can afford to be delayed. Oh, get 2 clues. I suppose we could. What do we need for this? Yeah, we need a clue. So we don't need a lot of clues, like 3 clues. I don't know. It feels like we'll be wasting a lot of time, and we don't have a lot of time to waste. So my feeling is that we don't do that, because we have this camera now which allows us to spend and gain a clue. So if we didn't have that, I might feel differently about it. But I think, I think we will leave it as it is. So there we go. So that was that was an interesting round. We managed to get rid of the mob, and we managed to get rid of, but we took quite a bit of damage. We are now on 3 life and 3 sanity. So we're a bit low. But I do want to take on this Gug if we can, because I think that's the way we're going to resolve this mystery. But I probably need to do a bit of resting and things before we do that. So anyway, that's oh, let's put a new artifact here. Sorry, what was it? Agency Quarantine. When you gain this card, immediately choose a space. Each monster on the chosen space loses 4 health. Wow. I wouldn't kill it, but okay. I just realised there's this private car here, so we could recover all health and sanity. So that might be the way to do things. Anyway, let's move into the mythos phase. So we move into the mythos phase, and it's a blue one. So there's a clue on 16. Is that 16 up there? Hard to tell. Yes. Okay. So that's miles away. All right. You have heard reports of a stranger travelling alone to the most remote and mysterious parts of the world. He speaks of ancient times in many lands, and those he speaks to go mad. The Crawling Chaos, ongoing rumour. When this card enters play, spawn the Crawling Chaos epic monster on the active expedition space. When it is defeated, solve this rumour. This sounds bad. Crawling Chaos. Although again, I think the main problem is trying to get there is going to be the biggest problem. Okay, so so let's move this Crawling Chaos to Tunguska. Let's have a look at the Crawling Chaos. Toughness is equal to 3. Not that tough. Okay. Yeah. And then the lightning bolt is advanced doom by 1 unless investigators group spends clues equal to 1. If investigators do not spend clues, discard the top card of the expedition deck and move the Crawling Chaos. Okay. To the active expedition space. So really just advances the doom by 1. So at the moment it's too far away. So hopefully it will move a little bit closer, and then we can take it out. Okay. So that's not too bad. All right, let me move. Okay, we've got our camera back. We've got lots of stuff here. So we're here in Buenos Aires. We really need to try and solve this first mystery. We've got everything that we need to do it. So we could either move up to Arkham and close this gate, or we could take on this Gug. So the only problem with taking on the Gug is that we're low on health and sanity, and the good old Gug would certainly be quite challenging from that perspective. So I'm worried about us kind of getting into a place where we're getting very low on health and sanity. Having said that, there is the private car. It's private care. Why did I think it was car? I'm sure you're all screaming at me going, care, not car. There's a car in it. It's private care. So there's private care. Agency Quarantine would actually be nice. So maybe the first thing is to try and get rid of this debt condition. again. So test influence. So that would be 2 influence. So let's go ahead and try and get rid of this deck condition. So we'll roll it up. And yes, whoo, we do. We managed to get rid of the deck condition. That was really close. So first action is to get rid of the deck condition. Second action is, now we could either gain another deck condition and get ourselves a private care, or we could just rest up, which isn't going to give us very much if we just rest up. Yeah. Because if we can get this private care, that would allow us to immediately recover all our health and sanity. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean we could... Is this so bad? Let's have a look here. So law -1, so we'd be rolling 3 law, so we could lose a couple of sanity there. Yeah, and yeah, no, I don't. Although we do have the alchemical concoction, will probably mean we can kill the gug pretty much outright. Oh, for each sanity lost. So yeah, it feels like we better be a bit judicious here. So what I'm going to do is the witch doctor, additional health. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to discard this enchanted cane because I don't think we're going to use it. So I'll move the enchanted cane and we will replace it with fine jewelry. Keep doing that. Fine jewelry. You may add 1 to the result of 1 die when performing a... Okay. Right. That actually might be handy for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an influence of 2 and see how we go. Let's see if we can get this. So, oh my goodness, we get 2. Wow, we get 2. So I don't even have to take a deck condition. I can just... Now, I could take 4, which would allow me to not kill the gug, but put 4 on the gug. But I feel like the main thing we need to do is we need to get our health and sanity back up. So I'm just going to use the private care and immediately recover all health and sanity. Okay, there we go. Let's flip that. Profane tome. You may reroll 1 die when resolving a will test. Okay. All right. So that was our 2 actions. I'm really, really keen to kill this gug, but I want to make sure I'm in the best position possible to do that. There's no point as doing it and then finding that we can't. So, all right. So that's the end of our Act 2 actions. So our next thing to do is to move into the encounter phase. So we'll just have an encounter in Buenos Aires. Let's see how we go in Buenos Aires. So, Buenos Aires, an old woman warns you that you have angered Yig and teaches you a protective chant. Gain 1 ritual spell. Okay, so a ritual spell. Let's shuffle these up. First ritual spell that we get, that's a glamour spell, incantation, glamour, ritual, shriveling. Okay. I don't know if we'll use it, but anyway, we've got a shriveling. Okay. That's not all. There's more. Oh. Concerned that Shay may be right, you learn all you can about Yig lore. If you fail, you learn nothing. All right, let's go ahead. Okay, roll 3. Come on. Yes. Great. Okay, what does that mean? You learn all you can about Yig. That's it. Okay. All right. Oops. Okay. Good-o. All right. So that wasn't too bad. We got ourselves a ritual spell. I'm not sure that we are going to use it. But anyway, we got it. Okay. All right. So we move into the mythos phase. What terrible mythos are we going to have this time? So the Doom track moves around to red. And I believe that that's Arkham. Just Arkham. Because there's only one gate at the moment. It's been a fairly gate-free time so far. Then we go into the lightning bolt. So the lightning bolt is, well, the Ravenous Gug actually, it says, move this monster one space towards the nearest city space. Well, there's actually equal, so I could have it just move on to here. There we go. That will make things easy for me. All right, and here we go. Advance the Doom by 1 unless investigators as a group spend clues. 1 clue. Do I want to spend 1 clue? Yeah, we can. Actually, I can do that because if I spend a clue, I then, if I spend a clue, I may gain a clue. So I'm going to spend a clue. I'm going to gain a clue. I'll flip this to show we've done it. So there you go. No problem. There we go. Okay, easy. All right, so that's that bit done. Is there any other... Nasty Ghoul doesn't do that. I think that's all. We've got no deck conditions, so it's all good. Okay. So then we spawn a gate. And the gate is in London. With, like Cluedo, London with a gate. And the Serpent People. Where are they? Do they stay there? Oh. Where do they go? When this... Oh, move it to the Amazon. Okay. Oh, keep doing that. Oh. It's just there. How big are they? Are they worthwhile? 2. Roll a die on a 1 or 2. The nearest investigator moves 1 space towards this monster. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's the Serpent People. And actually, I'm thinking we should use our ship ticket and probably get up to Arkham and close another gate if things are going well, because I think closing gates just stops the Doom track from advancing too fast. Anyway, let's see what the rest of it has to say. You wrap the towel around some ice and apply it to your injuries, hoping to reduce the swelling. You make a mental list of all the sacrifices that you have had to make and those that you have asked of others. All that terrible loss, and you can't for the life of you think of any good that's been accomplished. Well, that's pretty much this game in a nutshell. All for nothing. Shuffle a solved mystery back into the deck. Unless investigators as a group spend clues equal to half. Oh, you know, the Shuggy is kind of a bit of a pain in the backside. And actually, if we kill the Gug, it's going to work anyway. So I think that's fine. I don't think that's a problem. Shuffle the solved mystery back into the deck. If there were no solved mysteries... I'll shuffle a solved mystery back into the deck. Okay, we haven't solved any mysteries. Okay, I know you were all screaming at me then. There's no solved mysteries. If there are no solved mysteries, advance the Doom by 1. Okay. No biggie. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of that. So this round so we can flip that back over. This round, things are not going too bad actually for William. Things have got a lot worse for others. So we're not doing too badly. We managed to hold up okay. We are in a pretty good position, I think, to deal with this good old Gug, which will help. So I think all in all we're in a pretty okay position at the moment. So what are we going to do now? We've got a couple of actions. We want to get rid of the Ravenous Gug. That's definitely something we want to do. So we've got a couple of actions we can do here. So we can... I think I'll get myself a focus. That's it. We need a focus token. Yes. Yes. Because if we're going to bury them deep, I've just realized you need a focus token. Whew. So one action is to get a focus token. Be the first action. Second action, let's have a look here. Is there anything we want to... Are we going to... Profane Tome, Witch Doctor, Agency Quarantine, Find Jewelry. So we can discard up to 2 cards from here. We could get rid of that Crawling Chaos, couldn't we, if we get that? I don't mind any of these, to be honest. They could all be helpful. So what I might do is I might just go ahead and roll up, see what we get, to get another item. Because even if we just get the fine jewelry or something, that would be quite handy. So we roll it up. What do we get? Wow, we get double 5, so we get 2 again. Oh my goodness, we get 2 again, which means we could take the Profane Tome and the fine jewelry. I'm liking that. I mean, I could use this, but I'm just wondering whether with the Gug, I think, maybe it would be better to use this. I'm going to take a deck condition again, and I'm going to take Agency Quarantine, which means puzzle box. When you perform a rest action, you may attempt to open the puzzle box. If you pass, discard this card to gain an artifact. Oh, God. Wow. Okay. That would be great. Wow. Wow, if only we did. You know what? If we discarded something, that would have come up, and we could have gotten it. Wow. Anyway, it didn't happen. So we do 4 damage to the Ravenous Gug. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's right, isn't it? That's what this does. When you gain this card, immediately choose a space. Each monster on the chosen space loses 4 health. There we go. Okay, well, that's going to make it easier. All right. Okay. So that's the end of our activities. So we will move into encounter. So it's now the Gug time. Let's have a look at the Gug. So the first thing we have to do is we do have to do a will -1 against 3. So we are a 4. Yep. And you can re-roll 1 die when resolving a will test. So that's good. Okay. So these are about fighting. This is about fighting. So we've got 4, and we can re-roll 1 die. Here we go. So we get 1 5. Whoops. So we'll keep. So we'll keep the 5, and we will re-roll another die. No. So we get a 1. So we do pass it, but we take 2 points of damage as a consequence. So we no, 2 sanity as a consequence. Okay. So now it's time to do some fighting. Now this takes a bit of calculation here, because so at least we passed that. We took some sanity. Now we are a 4. We're a 4 fight normally. So but we do this at a -2. So there's 2 dice for that. Now, according to the Tommy gun, we get +4 during combat encounters. So that's another 4. 1, 2. Oh, we better copy this. Didn't realize we're going to need 3, 4. So that's the extra 4 for the Tommy gun, because we're going to use the Tommy gun. Now, we are also going to use this. You may discard this card to gain +5 during a combat encounter. I'm going all out here. Do we need to go all out? I don't know if we need to use that, do we? Do we really need that? Because we... Oh, hold on. But then it says here... when resolving the combat strength test, 1 fewer die for each sanity loss. So we lost 2 sanity. So we have to take 2 away, which only leaves us with 4. So I am going to use this. So this gives us another 5. Whoops. We just need 2 more of these. Copy. 2, 4, 5. Okay, this is a big roll. I've never had so many to roll. Wow. All right, so we should pass this. Let's roll it up. This gug is going down with the Tommy gun, and we get 1, 2. Can you believe it? We only got 2 in all of that. Oh my goodness. We got 2. So, we did pass it. So we take 1 damage. And luckily we put the 4 on it because that means we do the damage and we kill the gug. Wow. If we hadn't done that, it would have been bad. Okay, so we killed the gug, which means we can spend 1 focus. Then you can flip this card and 5+, because the gug was 5+. Advance the active mystery by 1 and then discard this card. So this card gets discarded. That's just an item. I should put it over here. So that's just an item. That's a unique one. Okay. So that's really great that we can advance the active mystery by 1. So we can put a clue onto the Azathoth, but we still don't have the Shagay token. So it means we've got a clue on there. I've just been reading about this one. So advancing the active mystery by 1 allows to put a clue on there, but what it doesn't allow us to do is we still need to find the Shagay artifact. So we still haven't found the Shagay artifact. Thankfully, we have the puzzle box. So that would be one way to get the artifact. Unfortunately, that's quite difficult for us to do because but we can keep trying. So that's not quite what I was hoping for, but anyway, that's the way that it's gone ahead and worked. So whenever you defeat a monster, whenever you defeat a monster with a toughness 2 or greater, you may gain 1 service from the reserve. So we can gain the puzzle box. So all we have to do now is just use it to try and find the artifact. So that's something. Okay, fantastic. So now that we've defeated the gug, we can go ahead and do a normal encounter. So we'll do a Buenos Aires encounter. The cult left their sacrifice to die in a pit of scorpions. Ooh, you may gain a poison condition to save him. If you gain the condition, he recalls the ritual in detail and gain a poison misspell. If you do not gain the condition, he's buried under a crawling mass and lose 2 sanity. Oh, what a choice. Okay, so we can get the poisoned condition, or we can just lose 2 sanity. I don't really want to lose 2 sanity, so we better take the poison condition. Okay. When you perform a rest action, you cannot recover health or sanity, then flip this card. Okay. So we did that, and we got the poison mist spell. Okay, so here we are. We finished that action, so we can move into the mythos phase. Oh, let's just put an extra asset here. I've forgotten about this. What do we get here? Esteemed author. Okay. All right, so let's go into the mythos phase, and let's see what we get this time. So we moved the Doom track round 1, and I think, yes, London, so that moves down to 10, Doom. We then have the lightning bolt condition, so lose a health, and flip this card. Let's have a look here, what happens this time. Bagman, a man surprises you in your hotel room and presses you for information. You fear that if you do not tell him what he wants to know, you'll never be heard of again. You may spend 1 clue. If you do not spend the clue, move to a random space and become delayed. So we can spend a clue, which means we can get a clue every time we spend a clue. But we can only do that once around, so we will flip that. And then discard this card. Okay, not too bad. All right, good. Okay, now we don't want to do this here. Advance the Doom by 1 less investigators spend clues. I don't want to spend this clue, so we will advance the Doom by 1, which I don't want to do, but I don't want to. And then discard the top card of the expedition deck and move. Okay, so we move. So we discard that. Let's just move it out of the way for a second. Let's just get all these dice over here. So many of them now. And so it's now... Is that Rome? No. Where is that? Is that Buenos Aires? Oh my goodness, it's Buenos Aires. Oh my goodness. Crawling Chaos is in Buenos Aires. There we go. Okay, that was handy. All right, so what's its... it's got magical resistance. Toughness is equal to 3. That's not too bad. I think we'll get rid of this Crawling Chaos. Wow. Okay, and we get a gate. So the gate this time is in Tokyo. Now we've got 3 blue gates. That's bad, so we need to try and get rid of them. And, oh yes, a monster. What's the monster? A ghost in Tokyo. Okay. The doctors tell you that you're lucky. Between non-stop travel, questionable food, constant stress, and physical abuse, yep, you've suffered. They say you should have already died from any one of a wide variety of ailments. The harder they fall. Each investigator may discard any number of talent conditions. Then he loses 1 health and sanity for each talent condition he has. Do I have any talent conditions? No, I don't. So, no big deal. Okay, that's the end of the mythos phase, and we still haven't solved any mysteries. We're still going. We need to find this artifact. We are here with this Crawling Chaos. This can flip back over again. So, what are we going to do? Well, I think we try and deal with this puzzle box. So, I think the first thing we do is we get a focus token, so we can re-roll. Really, really want this. So, so basically with the puzzle box, when you perform a rest action, so we are going to perform a rest action. You cannot recover health or sanity, but I can flip this card. Oh, we never got our, where is it? There it is, Poison Mist. Okay. Now, flip this card. The poison is spread and none of your supplies have been of any use. You have to find a well-supplied medical professional in the city. If you're on city space, we are. Test influence -1. If you pass, discard this card. Now we have something. I thought we had. No, we don't. Did we have something? No, we don't. Okay. Influence -1. Was it this one? It was that, wasn't it? Okay. Test influence -1. If you pass, discard it. If you fail, you cannot afford the antidote. You may gain a debt condition to discard this card. Okay. So, influence -1, so that's 1 dice. Oh, no. Roll it up. We get a 6. Brilliant. We did. Wow. So we can get rid of the poison condition. But the rest, yeah, we couldn't. Health or sanity. But when you perform a rest condition, you may attempt to open the puzzle box. Observation -2. Well, we get 1 dice to do it. And we've got 2 clues here that we can use to re-roll. So let's go ahead and roll. 5 or a 6. 6. Wow. We've just been so lucky. So that means we can gain an artifact, which means we can gain the artifact. So here we go. We'll search up the artifacts for Shagay. We got it at last. Unbelievable. There we go. We flip this. So we have got the Shagay artifact. Okay. So, fantastic. So that's... So all we need to do now is just hold out. So that was our rest action that we did. We do have another action which we can perform. Oh, no, we got the focus token, didn't we? So that's our 2 actions. Okay, that's us done. Fantastic. Okay, right. Well, then we can move into encounter. So the crawling chaos, we are going to try and fight this crawling chaos. We do a will -1, which is 2. We seem to have just a bit of whack. Here we go. So that's 2 dice. Now, we can re-roll 1 die when resolving a will test. We got anything else we can do? I think that's all. I mean, we can re-roll with these as well. So there we go. We need to do a will test. Let's roll it up. We didn't pass, so we need to pass. So I'm going to put in the focus token. Let's re-roll 1 dice. Come on, give me a 5 or a 6. Yes, we got a 6. Okay, so we pass, which means we take... Oof, we're down to 1 mental. We really are a bit on the edge, but that's all right. Now we move into fight. So we are a strength of 4. Here we go. We can really... And we're going to use the Tommy gun, so that's another 4. Okay, this is epic. Oh, we've got to do... Okay. Okay. And what have we got to do to kill this thing? Toughness is equal to 4. So that's the Tommy gun. And we can re-roll 1 strength die. Let's hope we don't need it. Okay, let's roll all these up. What did we get? 3. We got 3. What's its strength? 3. Toughness is equal to investigators +2, so that's a 3. We pass and we kill the crawling chaos. Yay! So I think when it is defeated, solve this rumor. Rumor is solved, and also when you feel up to 2 or greater, gain an asset of your choice. So the esteemed author would be good. Find jewelry. I'm thinking the esteemed author because we can re-roll 1 die on an influence test. So there we go. Now it says here, when you gain this card, gain 1 random tome asset from the deck. So first of all, let's put another one out here. Okay. And then let's flip these. And then let's just find the next tome asset. Ah, forbidden text. Okay. Let's roll them up again. So this gives us a passive boost as well. How many items have we got here? My goodness. So this gives us another +1 to our will. So we're now, wow, yeah, just cooking with gas here. We've got so much stuff. We don't know what to do with it all. William Yorick. We still have only solved 1 mystery, though. Okay. So there we go. That's very nice. Okay. So we move into the... Oh, then we get an encounter here again on Buenos Aires. So let's do it again. A mansion in Villa del Parque is adorned with gargoyles. One of them flies at you. Strength test. So we are a strength of 4. Let's move 1, 2, 3, 4. Strength of 4. Let's roll them up. Yes, 1. Okay. If you pass, it shatters on the ground and you see runes on the remains. Gain 1 non-incantation spell. Okay, well let's just... What's the spell? Is it incantation? No, it's a glamour. When you perform a travel action, you spend 1 sanity to move an additional space. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, so we can... There we go. We've done an awful lot. Buenos Aires has been a very, very, very active place. Yes. Okay. So let's move into the... just realized this should be on 6. Let's move into the mythos phase. And the mythos phase moves the doom track around again. So the doom goes down again. There is a monster surge, but there isn't a green one. So the gates bring out another gate. San Francisco with a monster. A Leng spider. Yep. I'll tell you what, we're getting an awful lot of stuff now. A lot of gates. Things are starting to... And a clue. In Rome. Okay. The strain must be too much. Reality is pulling itself apart and at the seams, and every wizard and sorcerer feels the overpowering energy, unleashing arcane forces in every direction. Wild arcana. Each investigator flips each spell he has. Oh boy. No. Resolving the effect on its back as if he had rolled 1s. 1. Your magic calls attention to your location. Immediate resolve a combat encounter against each monster on your space. No. 1. Is it a 1, it said? Rolled only 1s, no successes. Oh, I see. Okay. So that was 0 to 1. That was fine. 0. The magic only gives away your location. Immediately resolve a combat encounter against each monster on your space. No. And finally, somewhere in the void you see you have lost the magic words. If you rolled any 1s, discard this card. Okay. No biggie. All right. Okay. Could have been worse. If the spell effect refers to that investigator or a chosen investigator, the investigator must choose himself. If the spell effect refers to any other token space, the investigator must choose the nearest token or space of the indicated type. Okay. Well, that actually didn't turn out to be too bad. Okay. All right. That means it is now the end of the mythos phase. At the end of the mythos phase, an investigator may spend clues equal to 1. It's already there. And discard this one. So there we go. There is the first mystery done. And we just discard the artifact. Fantastic. Brilliant. We've done it. First mystery is down. Fantastic. So let's get on to the next one. And the next one is occult research. The Shan are controlling innocent victims everywhere, using them to call forth Azathoth. After an investigator resolves a research encounter, he may spend 1 clue he gained and place that clue on this card. Okay. All right. Research encounter. I guess we could do a research encounter in Rome. There's also one here in Rome. Is that it? That's the lot. I don't think I did this last time. Let's see if it would have happened. No. Okay, it wouldn't have. Phew! Okay, so that's the end of that. So we're into Go 7. Okay, so we've solved the first mystery. The next mystery is we've got to get ourselves over and get this and do a research encounter. The closest research encounter, it seems to me, is probably in Rome. But these blue, how many blue ones are there now? There's one here in London. There's one here in Tokyo. That's green and that's red. Okay. So we could go to Arkham and we could close the gate. Get ourselves a ship ticket over to Rome, because otherwise we would just sort of be sitting here, and I'd rather be doing something more active than that. The other thing is we need to rest because our sanity is looking very, very low. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rest. That's the first thing I'm going to do. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the ship ticket, and I am going to move 1 to Arkham. See if we can deal with this. Okay, so that's our 2 actions. So we move into the encounter phase. So we've got this ghoul here, which is not going to impact our 2 or greater, but we can get rid of him. Okay, so first of all, we'll do a will test. We get a 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we will do a will test. Roll that up. We pass. We pass just fine. Then we do a strength test. Now for the strength test, we are a 4 plus the Tommy gun is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This should be easy, he says as he rolls nothing. 2. Is that 2? Yes, that's 2. Yep. So the ghoul is dead. Fantastic. Okay, that's a good start. All right. So we will now go into this other world encounter in Arkham. See how we go. You find others, this is the city of the great race, you find others who, like you, have had their consciousness pulled into alien bodies from throughout time. You try to convince them to share their knowledge. Influence. Influence. Okay. So it's an influence of 2. So we'll just move these out of the way. Now I do have some things that can help me with this roll, hopefully. So we are an influence of 2. We can re-roll 1 die during an influence test. I think that's, and we've got this clue token if we need to use it. So let's go ahead and see how we go. 5 or a 6. Come on. Yes, we get a 5. Great. The stories are highly illuminating. Gain 2 clues. Wow. But it's not a research encounter. Does it have to be a research encounter? I think it does. Yes. Okay, so that's very nice. They remind you of a ritual you research that may provide you with a solution. Law -1. If you pass, close this gate. So law -1 is 2, but we've now got 3 clues. So I'm assuming I can use those clues to re-roll if I need to. So let's re-roll. Let's roll them up. Come on, we need to close this gate. Yes, we do. Fantastic. Wow. Another gate closed. There we go. Fantastic. So there we go. That's done. We've closed another gate. We've got more clues. So we just need to get, next time, we just need to get a ship ticket and get ourselves over to Rome to do a research encounter. That's all we need to do. Okay. Easy. All right. So that's the end of the encounter phase. So we move into the good old mythos phase. Here we go. All right, so this moves around to 1. So that's, I think there's 2 of those. So this goes down to 6. We spawn monsters. I got in there. The first monster is a cultist, so we'll put that on London. Second monster is a Wendigo, and that goes in Tokyo. Okay, and then the clue. And this clue is, where's this clue? It's 7. There's 7. Oh, there. Okay. Sort of Panama-ish. Okay, not Central America. Okay. The shop owner's body was found in the storeroom amongst those curios and antiques deemed too esoteric for public display. While the police ascribed his death to natural causes, you see it as something more sinister. The insidious powers from outside of reality are growing more aggressive, impatient for the meal they plan to make of this world. Resolve the lightning effect on each mythos card in play twice, unless investigators as a group spend clues of 1. If there are no mythos cards in play with that effect, advance the doom. Well, there are not. There aren't any, so the doom goes down by another 1. Oh, boy. Okay. Okay, that could have been worse, I suppose. All right, so time is of the essence now. There's a couple of things. We need to deal with Rome, and we really need to deal with some more of these gates if we can. We're really running out of time. Oh, there's one here as well, so we could go there as well. But I probably want to try and close this here. Okay, so we go into turn 8. So the main thing we need to do now is get ourselves over to Rome. Because if we don't do that, then we're not going to get the second. Now, I know I've only got 2 sanity. But I don't feel like we've got time to be messing around because then it'll be another 2 rounds and the whole thing might be over. So I'm just going to have to go with it. So I'm going to buy a ship ticket. There's no point getting the ship ticket because I'm immediately going to spend the ship ticket, get over to Rome. I need to do this as soon as possible. Okay, so we've moved and we're in Rome. Then in Rome, we are going to do the research encounter to get this clue. Okay, let's see what the research encounter says for us. Are we in a city space? We are. The maestro possesses the original libretto for the notorious opera. You sneak backstage during intermission and steal it. Gain the Massa di Requiem de Shugay artifact. Okay, so we get the artifact back. Oh my goodness, okay. Can't believe it. Now we can't get rid of the bloody thing. Funny. Ah, well, it's not there anymore. We've got rid of it. So does that mean we don't get it? Probably means we don't get it. You search the pages for the... Oh, well, we have to get it. Okay, we'll get the artifact back. There we go. Doesn't seem to go away, or there's more than one of them. Okay. All right. And, okay, now what? You search the pages for the knowledge you seek. Oh, observation -2. If you pass, gain this clue. And if you fail... lose 2 sanity. Oh my goodness. And it is an observation -2, so we get 1 dice. Luckily, we've got 3 clues here, so we can use them to re-roll if we need to. Oh boy. This could be the end of the line. Okay. So here we go. Let's roll. Oh, that wasn't the roll. First roll. 5. Woo! Okay, we did it. So we gain the clue. Wow. So lucky. We've been very lucky. We've been incredibly lucky. I'm sure you'll agree. This has been probably the luckiest we have been so far. So we gain that clue, which means we can put the clue onto occult research. We may spend 1 clue and put it on this card. So as long as we survive the mythos phase, that will be the second one. That was super lucky, ladies and gentlemen. So we move into the mythos phase. Let's hope we survive this. So first of all, the doom track moves around to the red, and I don't think we have any red ones. No, we don't. It's because we closed it up. So that's good. Then we have the lightning. Well, this is lightning. What happens with the serpent person? Roll a die. On a 1 or 2, the investigator moves 1 space towards the monster. Okay, let's roll it up. On a 1 or a 2, and no, that doesn't happen. I don't think any other monsters. Nope. I don't think there are. Oh yeah, there's this effect. Roll 1 die. On a 1, advance the doom by 1. Okay, we'll roll the die. And it is. Wouldn't you know? Advance the doom by 1. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. And then we draw another gate. And the gate is Shanghai. Okay. With a Proto-Shoggoth. Move this monster 1 space to the nearest investigator. Okay. It's a long way away. Okay, oops. Shanghai. Okay, so we are now down to 4. We're literally getting very, very close to the end. Let's see what this has to say. With each new discovery, there is always some secret behind it. You begin to suspect that the greatest threat to you is a true understanding of what that darkness is. Unimaginable horror. Shuffle the mythos deck, then draw and resolve another mythos card, without resolving the card's advanced omen icon if it has one. Shuffle the mythos deck. Then draw and resolve another mythos card without resolving the cards. Okay. Without resolving the omen icon. So we don't do that one, but we do the lightning bolt again. So on a 1, let's hope this doesn't happen. Let's roll it up. 2, no. Another gate. Pyramids. Cultist. Okay. Oh, this one here. Roll 1 die on a 1 or 2. We move a space. Yes, so we move 1 space towards the monster. The monster's here. So I guess that would mean moving here. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it means moving here. Move this monster 1 space towards the nearest investigator. Okay. The old man stares into the fire and speaks quietly in his native language. His grandson listens closely and then translates for you. The skin of all things have been cut, but the young man indicates a cut on his own arm. A scar makes skin stronger. If Doom advance this round, retreat the Doom by 1. It did for the Shagay. Yes. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, great. That's the end of the mythos phase, ladies and gentlemen, which means we have resolved this one. This one is now done as well. That's 2 mysteries. Fantastic. So let's see what the final mystery is that we need to solve, and can we get it done in the time? Omen of devastation. The nemesis moon appears in the night sky, visible to all and heralding an imminent doom. When an investigator closes a gate that corresponds to the current omen, he may spend a clue and put an eldritch token on this card. Wow. Okay. Right. That is doable. That is doable. Can we do it? Can we interface at the same time, though? So, at the moment it's on red, and that's over in Shanghai, which is a bazillion miles away. So not at the moment. However, it will move to blue, but if it moves to blue, it'll then click over twice. I think we can do it. I think if we go to the pyramids and just hang out in the pyramids, and then just wait, it'll probably click over next time, then we can do it. The other way would be to get a ship ticket and move to London rather than the pyramids. But I'm feeling that's the best thing to do, because trying to get to Shanghai... Let's just check this, though. Okay. Trying to get to Shanghai feels like we'd go 1, we'd move 2, and then we'd have to move another 2 to get there. And by that time, it would have clicked over. So let's just hang out at the pyramids. I think we can do this. I really think we can do this. I really do. Okay. Okay. So let's move into Go 9. 2 actions. We'll rest, first of all. We want to rest. So this goes up to 3, and this goes up to 7. So that's good. So we do a rest action, and we will move to the pyramids. So all we need to do now is hang out at the pyramids. So that's our 2 actions. We will then deal with this cultist. So there we go. So we did do a will of 1. So we're a will of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be really close, I think, this game. Yep. So we get 2. So we pass. After resolving that test, lose a health. Defeat the monster. It's defeated. Great. So now we can do a general encounter here. Wilderness. The terrain ahead of you looks impassable, but going around would take too long. You need to find some way forward. Observation. Okay, we're an observation of 2. Yep. If you pass, you discover a path. Move 1 space. I don't want to move. I don't want to move. Is it going to make me move? Okay, we've got to move. Okay. I mean, we can always move back, but that's just that's so frustrating. Let's just move somewhere where we're not going to end up with something that we don't want. Okay, we'll just move back here. All right, that wasn't quite what I was after, but anyway. Okay. So let's move into the mythos phase. I actually want the doom to flip over. And yes, it does flip over. So it moves to blue, which means this goes down by 2, which is now down to 3. Okay, lightning bolts. Roll 1 die on a 1. No. The Proto Shoggoth moves towards us. What's this guy do? On a 1 or a 2. Oh, please don't roll close. Oh, phew. Okay. Anything else? I don't think so. I think that's all. Fantastic. Okay. And a gate. So we get Tunguska with a Yithian. Okay, well, we won't be going anywhere near Tunguska and Yithians. Okay, so you hear it again and again on the news every day. Oh no. Every day the world takes on another step towards utter annihilation. You ask yourself, how much would you sacrifice to prevent that disaster? Even if you could only grant humanity one more day of existence, would you honestly say that the price was too high? Doom advances by 2, unless the investigator gains a dark pact condition. No, it's a deal, isn't it? I'm going to take the dark pact condition. I don't want the doom moving any further than it has to. Okay, so we gained a dark pact condition. Fair enough. Okie dokie. All right, so that's the end of the mythos phase. So we move in to the 10th turn. This is it. I think we can do this. So basically this says we close a gate corresponding to the current omen. The current omen is blue. So all we have to do is get ourselves back to the pyramids. So we will get ourselves back to the pyramids. That's the first thing we're going to do. What do we need to do to get ourselves in as best condition as possible here? Do we try and get ourselves something else here, or do we try and increase our sanity further? We don't need to fight any monsters. We just need to close the gate. So we need to maximize our opportunity to close the gate. Test -1. If you pass, you spend 1 sanity to discard a monster space of your choice containing a gate. Well, we don't need to do that. You may re-roll 1 die when resolving a will test. We already have that. So what we might do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to discard up to 2 cards. So I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to put them here, and I'm going to draw 2 more. See if there's something more useful that we might get. Let's see what we got. So, Ritual Candles. You may discard this card to gain +5 on resolving a spell effect. And +1 during combat encounters. I don't feel like any of those are particularly... I might just get a focus token, which means we can maximize the number of rolls. Let's just get a focus token. Okay. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. The pyramids. We're going to try and close this gate. Here we go. Wish me luck. Yoggoth. The Mygo refused to go near the city of green pyramids. You summon the courage to explore this abandoned area. Wheel of 5. Yep, we pass. You find lost treasure. Gain an artifact. Okay, let's gain an artifact. King in yellow. Gain +2 to all skills if you have a blight condition. Well, okay, that would be nice, but we don't have a blight condition. Anyway. Oh, I think I just trashed it. There you go. Okay. All right. You hear sounds coming from within the pyramids and look for a place to hide. Observation -1. If you pass, you stay out of sight until threaten's gone and close this gate. Wow. This is like the worst thing we could have got. So here we go. We get 1 die roll. Luckily, we can re-roll. Let's see how we go. So we roll up. Come on, 5 or 6. Yes! How lucky has William Yorick been? Oh my goodness. We pass. If you pass, close this gate. The gate is closed, ladies and gentlemen. The gate has been closed. Which means, if this guy closes the gate, he may spend 1 clue and put it on here. End of the mythos phase. Let's hope we can survive to the end of the mythos phase. Okay, fantastic. Brilliant. Okay, here we go. We've just got to survive this mythos phase. Let's hope it's nothing too terrible. There's no red tentacles on it. Here we go. The doom track moves around to here. So that's 1, 2, 2? Is it 2 or 3? 3. 1, 2, 3, 0. Ah, dear, oh dear, oh dear. We were so close. There we go. We were so close. Never mind. It wasn't to be. So there we go. William Yorick managed 2 mysteries. He was so close to 3 to defeating Azathoth. That was really fantastic. What a challenging game this is. He did really well. I'm sure I made a ton of mistakes though, so it's possible that he might have done it. And if there was something I did which meant he would have, I put the doom down too fast or something like that, then indeed I'll give him the 3. But it looks like we did end up being defeated by good old Azathoth. The world is devoured, only just. That was so very close. William Yorick, wow, what a legend he was. He was great. He ended up with a bazillion different allies and assets of all kinds, which really helped. So that really made a difference. Getting the Tommy gun as well was really fantastic. His ability to defeat a monster and get extra things was also good. So all of that worked in his favor. Certainly is able to hold his own much more than some of the other investigators. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe and give me any feedback. I'm sure I've made some mistakes. I nearly always do. It'd be surprising if I haven't. Next time, we are going to go through Eldritch Horror. I'll do this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. With Mark Sampson. Yes, with Mark Sampson, the farmhand. It looks like he's all about strength. So brawn over brains. We will see how he goes next time. But until then, I'm Krabby Terror 8. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.